Hey guys, it's me Simo Orahara, and in this video, we'll talk about one of Kubo's answers regarding Ichigo's hollow form and the Vizards, as well as the names Zangetsu and White, and how Kubo called them. And finally, we'll cover the colors in the Bleach title and their meanings. But before we start guys, I need your reaction. Don't forget to support this video by your likes and comments to increase its reach so other fans can watch it. And a big thanks to the ones who support Simo, either the memberships of my channel or on Patreon. Thank you guys so much. First, I want to clarify something from my last video. In that video, I talked about a tweet from this account, which is known for sharing Kubo's related updates from Club Outside. The tweet claimed that Kubo mentioned wanting to reveal Urara's past and the origin of Squad Zero. It also stated that this information came from the 4th episode of Crew Radio. However guys, after I published that video, I talked with a friend named Reiko, who is a Japanese fan and known for translating a lot of Kubo's questions on his Tumblr account. And since Reiko is also a Club Outside member, I asked if this information was really mentioned in that episode. And he informed me and he told me that none of that was mentioned. And unfortunately guys, I was hoping the person behind the tweet would clarify where exactly he got that information from, since no one else mentioned it except him. That's why guys, I'm really sorry for sharing potentially false information. However, as I mentioned in my comment on that video, Kubo revealing Urara's past seemed more like a matter of time, since Kubo has previously talked about his desire to explore it. That's why guys, I hope this clears things up. And now guys, let's talk about the questions of this topic. And don't worry, the question and answers I share in my video always come from reliable and multiple sources. And let's start with the first question. A fan mentioned being fascinated by the fully hollow form of Ichigo, specifically referring to his appearance during his fight against Ichigo. That's why could the Vizards achieve a similar form? Kubo replied that he had never considered this before, but he found it an interesting idea, even if only in a game. And the fan question guys opens up a deeper discussion about Ichigo's nature in that form. What exactly was it? And could the Vizards potentially reach that level? Kubo said he didn't thought about it, and I can understand why, because Ichigo's hollow form in that state is quite different from the Vizards. In fact, you could say that even Ichigo's inner hollow and its structure within him are completely different from the Vizards' hollows. For example, in Ichigo's case, the hollow had been with him from the beginning, becoming part of his Zanpakuto and merging with his Shinigami power. And one of Ichigo's unique traits is that when the old man Zangetsu would release Ichigo's Shinigami power, it would manifest in that hollow-like form. However, we can indeed say that during that stage, Ichigo appeared as a fully transformed hollow, with the only remaining Shinigami traits being the presence of his Zanpakuto and his Chihakusho. On the other hand guys, the Vizards were shown to only be capable of making masks, which is the furthest things we have seen. However, during Aizen's early experiments, we have seen them enter a state that might have been stronger than just the mask, and as a form I find it closer to Ichigo's transformation against Ichigo, and I mean closer not in power but just in the state of mind. They were mindless in that state, with their bodies merely displaying the mask, and the opposite, Ichigo's skin itself changed color during his transformation. And this question also guys reminded me of another question, asking whether Ichigo and the Vizard could achieve a resurrection form like Tosen's, and Kubo answered they can't do that. That's why I said before that it would be interesting to understand exactly what this Ichigo's form was, and whether it could be considered his version of a resurrection. Since we know that Arankara's resurrection involves fully releasing their hollow powers, perhaps a Shinigami's version could work similarly. That's why I think maybe the Shinigami power could work like that, with the Vizard being capable of revealing their hollow side more completely. Therefore, Ichigo might fall into this category, and Kubo clarified that he had never thought of the Vizard in that way. But that doesn't mean they couldn't achieve it. It just seems he had no plans to explore this in the story. Although he mentioned it could be an interesting idea for a game, and we have seen that already appeared in Bleach Brave Souls with Hirako. That's why I think we can see that with other characters, but in games like Bleach Brave Souls, maybe we can see Kensei, Rose or other characters with fully hollow form. And the next question, guys, was about how Kubo calls the old man Zangetsu in Hollow White during serialization. So Kubo said that he called the old man Zangetsu and Hollow White as Shiro Ichigo. He also said that shortly after the White's appearance, a fan referred to him as Shirosaki in a letter, and he found that name quite interesting at the time. And honestly, guys, I also used to call Ichigo or Shiro Ichigo Shirosaki for a long time because it felt like a fitting name. And speaking about Zangetsu and White, guys, I really want to see more of them in the upcoming part, maybe in another training with Zangetsu, Osan and Shiro or White Ichigo, because I want to see their new perspective, how they see things now and they know that Ichigo know their true identities. I want to hear some words from White. I think the last scene when we saw him speaking was in the Dangai scene. That's why, guys, I'm really curious to see his new perspective. And the final question was about whether there was any special meaning behind the colors used in the Bleach logo, blue, red and white. And Kubo simply said that the colors don't hold any deeper meaning but were chosen to give the series a distinctive identity and visual style as a whole. And I think we have already an answer of Kubo in why he has chosen the word Bleach for the story. Unfortunately, I don't have the answer right now, but he has a reply for this. About the colors, he said that they don't have a specific meaning. In the end, guys, what do you think about the answer of Kubo, especially about the Vizards in their hollow form? Now we have seen new scenes of them in the third part where they unleashed their hollow form, especially Hirako and Rose and Kinsey, and that's something really good. And probably Kubo will make them go Bankai while they are in the hollow form. But for me, guys, as I said before, the thing that I'm most excited to see in Core 4 when it comes to the Vizard is Hirako Shinji finally fighting with using his Hollow Mask, showcasing his full potential as both a Shinigami and Vizard. His unique fighting style combined with his mask abilities has always fascinated me, and it would be incredible to see how he uses them in battle after all this time. Additionally, guys, I'm really curious about the third technique of Rose's Bankai. We've already seen how deadly his powers can be, so discovering the final piece of his Bankai's abilities will not only complete his Bankai techniques but also gives us a deeper look into his character and fighting style. So guys, what do you think about this Kubo's answer? Tell me guys your opinions in the comments and see you guys in my next video.